Hello, welcome back to another video, and my final video, I promise, my final ALPHALETE related video for at least a few weeks. Today's video is with the lovely Hannah, and we're going through the Aura range together. Kind of last year, I started attempting to do some additional hauls and additional like supplementational content videos with people that are different sizes to me. Obviously I did the contour one first, and I was able to do that before the drop, and then ever since then I've been getting my packages super close to the launch, and I've not been able to do things. So then I had to wait for Aura to be stocked again because a lot of the sizes that we needed were out of stock. So thankfully when the January drop came around on launch day, I went and I snagged the full Aura range so that we could try it with Hannah for this video. I just want to say a massive thank you to Hannah for doing this video with me, and I think it's going to be really useful for any of you who are a similar size, and especially those of you that are naturally blessed in the chest department, because it's actually really interesting seeing how differently things sit on people. And for example, there's certain products in the Aura range that work a lot better for Hannah than they did for me, so even some like insight into things that I might have said maybe I wouldn't recommend this, but she actually does. Please leave Hannah some love in the comments, because it's not easy coming onto anyone's platform. I mean, mine's only small, but it's not easy. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking, so if we can show her some love in the comments, that would be incredible. Her statistics and measurements and stuff will be in the description box below, and I truly hope that this video is helpful for any of you who are interested in the Aura range. If you're interested in contour and you're curious, I already have that video up, or Amplify in general, it could apply to that too. And if you are interested in Aura, this will be the video for you. Obviously with me buying the stuff myself this time, I did only do it with Hannah just because otherwise it gets a little bit expensive, but hopefully it is still just as helpful. I'm sorry this is last minute, we are on a little bit of a time crunch, but the video is going to be with you this evening, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. So today we've got the gorgeous Hannah. Do you want to introduce yourself, give a brief intro?
Okay, yeah, so I'm Hannah. I'm on Amy's Discord, and I've followed her for maybe about 3 years.
It's a long time.
I found her through YouTube when she was blonde, and she introduced me to ALPHALETE, so.
Oh, not the blonde. We're gonna run through the Aura collection because I think I'm gonna do an intro for this video, so you guys will already know why we're doing this video. But Hannah has really kindly, I feel like not even volunteered, I feel like you were like excited to do this video.
Oh, well, very much so, yeah.
Because I feel like also from a opinion and like where you stand, you feel like this sort of stuff is really important, which I love.
Yeah.
So when I was like, I need to do the Aura collection, I was like, Hannah's doing that with me, I don't care. So what are your like favourite activewear brands, just for reference, so that maybe if someone's watching that's not tried ALPHALETE before, if they are a similar size to you, they might know from other brands. So like maybe top 3 brands and what size you wear in their ranges, if there's any specific range from them.
So I would say Gymshark, although I'm very angry at them, but we won't get into that.
We won't get into that
customer
now.
Service dispute, but you know, it's not really relevant. So yeah, I'd mostly buy from their Vital collection and their Adapt is like camo and marl, Adapt marl I think it is, and I'll be size L in that. And I actually found most of their bras pretty good, not amazing, but like they have like really thick underbands and stuff, and if you get the ones with a bit more coverage, it would actually hold me in to an extent. Like I still couldn't run and jump in it, but it was like enough for weight training that I wasn't gonna like fall out, and I didn't feel like afraid to like do some stuff, like I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, I'd say Lazuli is maybe my favorite, but they don't really do bras for bigger boobs. I more prefer their V-seam leggings. I'd say like they're probably my favorite non-scrunch leggings. Like they're just really flattering with like the V at the back, and I find them really stretchy, so I don't feel like compressing them, because I personally hate compression.
Yes.
And with everything with Lazuli, I'd be an L. I have tried sizing up to an XL with the scrunch sculpt, because I was worried like the scrunch would rip if I didn't, because I had one pair from them at one point and they were like really compressive and tight, and like the scrunch did rip. So yeah, but I sized up, and then there was a bit too much room in the bum. So with the scrunch sculpt, I think it's just not for me. But with the V-seam, that really works for me. And the Nola tops I really like because they're really compressive. I get an L in that. Yeah. And then you put them over a bra and they like squish you in and it like holds you. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe like the third brand I would mention is I've been buying from Honor Active recently. I do like their effortless leggings, but recently like they've changed material of the yarn or something, and I don't really like them. We don't know. We're not qualified.
Just speculating.
Yeah, just based off the fact the material feels very different to me, I don't like it as much. With their bras, I'd say none of them really work for me. I have one, I think it's called the wide strap bra, but I had to size up to an XL in it because when I got the L, I was like spilling over. Yeah. And it just looked a bit weird. It looked like I was kind of trying to today. So I got the XL, but then the band was really unsupportive. So it looks nice in summary, but it's not like
the best.
Yeah, it's not the best for me personally, but I love their timeless jackets. I get an XL in those actually just to give me like a little bit more room, but I feel like they sit really flattering me. And actually for the effortless leggings, massive complaint is I have to size up to a XXL to feel comfortable because the waistband is so compressive on me. Yeah. That's the only brand I've ever had to size up that much. So although I love the leggings, that was annoying because I just felt like, well, if I'm the top of the size range, who, like, you know, I'm a size 14 to 16 UK, so you're probably going to ask me that in a minute anyway. Yeah, I was like, if I'm the top of the size range, how is anyone like bigger than me going to wear this brand? Like, they're saying they're inclusive, but to me personally, you know, whatever, maybe other people don't agree, but to me they're not inclusive. Like, they preach to me, so it kind of annoyed me.
I know that you've tried amplified bottoms before.
Yes, I have.
So just curious for reference, if anyone's got amplified but not tried Aura, what sizing do you do in amplified?
I actually do an XL because of the waistband.
Yes.
But I end up with extra fabric in the legs. Right, okay. They can see it like in some of my videos I've taken in my form. I'm like, it's wrinkling behind. I mean, it might. It's not as bad as wrinkles behind. Yeah, exactly. So there's like a bit of extra fabric in the leg, but for me, I really don't like compressive waistbands, which is maybe also part of the reason I have to size up so much in Honor. It just like squishes. I feel like it squishes my fat out because I hold like weight on my midsection. I don't like the biscuit tin look.
Get it. I get it. And I feel like a lot of activewear is sort of like the feedback that they're getting people from is typically people with like really lean midsections. Like I'm quite small, but I'm not shredded in my midsection. So when Amplify is running tighter, for example, you can count on me to notice it because I don't like I like feeling sculpted, but I don't like feeling like I'm wearing something that doesn't fit me. And sometimes in tight Amplify, I feel like that's how it feels. Yeah. UK usually 14 to 16. Yeah. Most brands large. Amplify you go up to XL. Effortless you go up to double XL, which I feel like would be really helpful as a reference because there's definitely a big crossover between ALPHALETE and Honor. We're going to go through these items first. So the colourway is Arctic Sky if anyone is curious. So we've done size XL for the long line strappy bra and a size large for the Aura leggings. So we'll do the bra first.
I'm glad that I did go for the XL in this because I feel like with the L I might be spilling out because you can see it depends how I adjust, I guess. So I feel like it's the right size basically. Yeah. I just wish there was like a little bit more compression for me personally at the bottom to hold me in because it's kind of like so there's no real compression, and I feel like if my boobs were to move around during the workout they could almost like slip to the top. Get the under boob kind of look, which we don't really want in the gym. I personally wish it was a bit more compressive, and I think with the back it looks really nice, but having these really thin straps, it's not supportive, and because my boobs are really heavy it puts a lot of weight on my neck, and sometimes I can get like headaches or like my neck will start to like ache or backache as well if I'm not wearing like a supportive bra for like hours and hours. I'll start to get backache because it's like they are heavy. So I think it looks really nice actually. When I put it on I was like, it's really flattering, and I do really like, I know some people might not, but I do really like the back, and I think because I was sized up to an XL I'm not getting too squished because I was worried I'd look like
I don't think it looks It's giving pork joint, but
Yeah.
it's not. It actually looks really,
Okay.
really nice from the back.
Yeah, it's really flattering. I'm just not sure how like functional it would be for me to wear, but I wish I could wear it more because it is really pretty actually, and I love the colour.
So with that being said, obviously for you, definitely a low support bra.
Yeah.
Which is what I said when these dropped. I feel like sometimes when we, like as a team, see a longer bra, because we're so used to tiny ones, people jump to saying it's medium support. But I knew as soon as I put that on, I was like, this is comfortable, and if it's comfortable, not that like higher support bras are uncomfortable, but I do feel like you need to feel something
Strapped in.
something
Yeah.
there. So
No, I totally agree.
it's honestly really, really helpful as well to see it on like a naturally fuller bust, because a lot of us have got implants, and whilst
Yeah.
I've got some size to me, they don't sit the same, and
No,
I
they
feel
don't,
like it's
yeah.
really helpful, because almost with like a natural full bust, that bra looks quite like long on me, but I feel like when you've got the blessings to fill it out, it almost is reminding me of how like the Aura 3-strap bra looks on me,
Yeah.
which I find really, really interesting actually. Obviously with it being a low support bra, would you say it's more of like something that you'd wear under t-shirts or jumpers or for lounging? What would you use it for?
Use it like on holiday or something, where I
Yeah.
could just wear it by itself because it's so pretty. I don't want to cover it up. If I was to put a t-shirt over it, I feel like it would defeat the point, because I'd want something just more supportive
Yeah.
to walk around in. Because if no one's going to see it, I'll be wearing a bra that's really holding me in so I don't get backache. But if people are going to see it and it's like a hot country or something, and I'm not spending the whole day out and about, I'm sort of like around the resort, maybe having breakfast, like chilling, I would wear this and I'd want people to see it because it looks really pretty, basically, is what I use it for.
Perfect. I want to move on to the leggings now. So we've done a size large, which I feel like from what I've gathered is the size that you tend to go for in non-seamless or brands that don't have super compressive waistbands, because I know that Gymshark, it's not. I've tried that seamless, it's not like Amplify or anything like that. So typically like a true sort of size for you.
In terms of the fit, I like how the waistband isn't digging in too much, like it's sitting comfortably. The only thing I would say is it is rolling slightly on me, and that could be just because I like do hold weight in my midsection, so because I'm not like completely flat there, it's maybe like rolling over a bit. So now it's looking quite nice and flat, but when I was like moving around, it was starting to like roll. So it's not a massive problem because it doesn't hurt when it rolls. Like I find when I wear like, say for example, Effortless, when it rolls, it's actually digging in like it's almost like a double compression when it folds over. So with this, if it rolled, it wouldn't hurt, it just might not look as nice, basically. I like this sort of like line like round the glute. Well. I didn't know how it would look on me because I've got like quite wide hips and I've got hip dips. So
same girl, same.
I was like, how is it going to look on the hip dips? Is it going to ruin like the look of the bum? But I don't think it does. I think the line still like curves around my glute, so that's quite flattering. With the back, I would prefer if it was a lower V, like the Lazuli V seam, because that really sits like right there, and you really feel like, because my bum gets bigger towards the bottom, it's like kind of flat, and then it goes out. It's like I'd rather have that sort of like more sort
help
of
shape a little bit.
Exactly. So there's nothing wrong with it, and I'm glad they've got a V rather than like a straight line, because then I wouldn't like them as much. But I just like a deeper V for me personally. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that was quite a common comment on the Aura leggings. I mean, when I first got them, I was like, oh my god, this back seam. But that's because I was trying to wear them like Amplify, so I was like pulling them up my arse. Doesn't look good with Aura, in my opinion. Each of their own.
I've not done that. Just it's just sat like on top of my glutes, basically.
Yeah, which is how I think it looks better, because once you start pulling it up, it then starts moving up your lower back, and it just looks a little bit weird. But that was a very common sort of feedback on Aura, was they wished that the seam was a little bit shortened and the V was a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
I know that you mentioned obviously preference wise you don't like things that are digging into you, you don't want something that's going to be super compressive around here. So with this being a more, in my opinion, low compression range, how's the comfort feeling, how's it?
Yeah, it's actually really comfortable, I'd say. And I would probably wear this to work out, but I think it might not be entirely sweat proof. I'm not sure. So I'd be a bit conscious of that, because I don't mind like getting sweat here, but when you're starting to get sweat in your crotch and sweat in your bum crack, it's a bit like, oh, like, you know.
Ooh, not sure about that.
Yeah, exactly. So if I was going on a walk, for example, like in the fresh, crisp air of the lovely Peak District, then
painting a beautiful scene there.
yeah, then I'd wear these, because I feel like they wouldn't get sweaty.
Yeah.
It's like I'd be walking and there'd be like ventilation. But
sure.
my gym is quite hot and there's a lot of people in it, so I feel like if I just feel a bit conscious, I guess. But other than that, I would wear them to work out. I don't think they'd slip down, because I've got quite wide hips. Although they roll, I don't think they'd slip down. Like, I have had leggings before, and I think which ones they were. They were a lazuli range called Celeste. They weren't like that popular. They were kind of like, they had like pattern on them. I have pictures of what I mean, but they came in like several different colours, and they were really flattering with the V, but they were so loose here that they literally kept slipping onto my hips, and my stomach was out, and I don't like my stomach being out. I like high-waisted leggings. Like, pretty much all my leggings are high-waisted. Like, the ones that weren't, I sold. Yeah. So for this, it's compressive enough. It's not going to slip down, but it's also not squishing you and making you feel like,
yeah. Perfect. I guess just to finish off for like sizing, are you happy with the size large? Would stick with a size large? Wouldn't go up, wouldn't go down? True to size?
Yeah, I think so. When I first saw them, they looked quite small, like we were saying. I was like, oh,
you out the bag and you're like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. But when I got them on, I was like, this actually feels really comfortable. Yeah. And for this, although to be honest, I wouldn't spend my own money on it, because it's not going to be like getting the most use for me. Yeah. This is true to size as well, I'd say, for me.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so we've kept the bra on, but obviously we've already gone over it, and now we've switched over to the Aura 5-inch short, and again, size large. We did a size large for these?
Yes, we did. Everything's large apart from the bras.
Perfect.
So I actually prefer wearing this length of short, because I was just talking to Amy a second ago, when I go for like longer lengths, it kind of ends at my knee, and I don't find that very flattering on me. Yeah. Because I'm trying to grow my quads, and like, I've got little baby quads, and I just
they're not big, they're strong.
Yeah, they are strong, but they're not popping as much as we want, but we'll get there. So I like my quads being out. I feel like this part of my leg I quite like. I guess the downside of having shorter shorts is you can kind of see cellulite, but that doesn't bother me so much. Like, for me personally, I'm not really that bothered. Like, pretty much every woman has cellulite, but I guess for some people they'd prefer longer, but for me, I like how it sits on me, and this length has always been good on me. Maybe because it's the larger size, I don't know, somehow this length works for me. And I actually quite like how this is sitting on my hips as well. I feel like the line, you've still got the line that goes round in the same way as you do with the leggings, and I feel like it's actually quite flattering, and I personally would wear these and I would work out in them. Same thing with the sweat thing. Yeah. You know, like, I'd be conscious of like not doing a really sweaty session, but I feel like these are sitting nicely, and again, comfortable on the waist. They look small when they came out, but same sort of situation as the leggings. Fits nicely on the waist, not squishing me in, does roll a bit, but comfortable, true to size.
I'm like, honestly, in awe when she came out of the bathroom, the makeshift wardrobe room. Honestly, like, these shorts on me, they just don't suit me, and I much prefer the bikers, which we are going to do the bikers. They're just a little bit too short on me, and I feel like that was a common complaint from a lot of the athletes. I feel like this is just really like highlighting the importance of having a wide range of people that have got different builds and different preferences, because now seeing them on you, I honestly feel like they're more likely to sell on you than they are if they put them on me, because they just, I don't know what it is, maybe it's something to do with like how I'm built, but they just don't look quite right on me, whereas on you, like, as soon as she came out, I was like, those actually look really, really, really good. Like, really good. And I thought they'd be a little bit too short because of how short they are on me, but they're not.
Yeah, I really like the 4.5 amplifies as well. Like, I didn't mention ALPHALETE at the beginning, but I do really love amplify. Like, not the thinner fabric, but I love the bum scrunch. I love the, like, how it sits on me, and I would personally never go for the bikers. I would always go for the 4.5s. Not that there have been many bikers around recently, but for me, like, that length, it just works. And like, I think I don't know, these particularly sit nicely on my hips, I think. Like it kind of...
They do.
Yeah.
They look really, really good. Would you be concerned about rolling or...
I don't know. I mean, this rolls, but the bottom hasn't so far. It's all right, I think, actually.
Do you find amplify rolls on you?
It does a bit.
Yeah.
But not like up, you know, up there. Like it kind of rolls to about here.
Yeah.
And then I just roll it down again.
Yeah.
But I don't run in amplifiers. I do like hip thrusts or like, I mean, I was going to say RDLs, but I don't like it when the bar scrapes my leg. But
yeah.
Step ups, walking lunges, that kind of stuff like is all fine for me.
Glute days, basically.
Yeah.
Leg days.
Yeah.
You've got to wear amplify for a leg day. So yeah, would you recommend, do you prefer, actually I am intrigued, do you prefer the shorts or the leggings, or is it a case of like liking both but for different things?
Yeah, I'd say probably the second one. I like both but for different things. But if you force me to pick, I'd probably pick the shorts just because I like how they sit on me and I like where they kind of end up.
Gorgeous. So we have now got on the Blizzard print. So this is one of the prints. They did 3. So they did a purple one, black and like grey one, which is the most subtle if anyone is interested in the prints. Then this one, and then you've got a blue one, which is very stark. It's giving Frozen vibes. But if that is up your street, there are 3 prints, and I think they're still quite heavily stocked. So we're going to go over the shrug first, and then just to signpost for the flares, we did size large regular.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll go over the shrug first, size large. Review it for me, Hannah.
So it's a tiny bit tight on the arms, but because there's so much stretch in this material, that's not really bothering me. It's not like restricting me too much. But if I was to size up, I don't think that would work because this is like gapping on me and it would just look really weird, and I feel like it would flap in the wind. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'd go out on a windy day and it'd be like a tent.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe, but having said that, couldn't go down to a medium because I think it would just be like too compressive for me on the arm. Yeah, I'm happy with this size, and I do actually like how it looks, especially from the back. And I do actually like how they've done the logo.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like the letter, like how the letters can peel, I like how the colour like is contrasted against the print,
100%,
if that makes sense. I think it looks really cool, and it was one of the reasons I wanted to pick this print because I just love the colour. I was like a bit worried it would be too stark, but I think on the shrug it's really kind of like subtle but like unusual, and I quite like that. I guess it's like it's not covering me like into the armpits, it's kind of like sitting above, but it's not digging in too much, because another thing I was worried about is if this massively dug in, it would like squish my fat out.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like walking around like just like, yeah, all squished. But it hasn't actually, it's just like sitting there, it's not causing me any like
discomfort.
Yeah, so I'd say it's the right size. And with the thumb holes, I have a love-hate relationship with thumb holes.
Yeah.
Because I think they look sleek, but when you then go to do things, it's really inconvenient.
Yeah.
But if I was to do that and then roll it up, it would just look a bit weird, because then you've got all this sort of excess material, and it kind of just doesn't look as nice.
Yeah.
So I like how it looks, like I like having thumb holes because of how they visually look, but I couldn't work out in it, and I know this is more of an athleisure thing, but if I'm thinking about things I was doing, like say if I was like cooking, that would just be inconvenient.
Yeah.
Because they'd get in the way if I was like chopping stuff, or
100%.
I guess I could like have a coffee in them, you know, wearing this, like, and the flares, like that would be fine. I could grab my coffee and have a little bit of heat protection, you know, that would be alright, you know. So yeah.
So sizing wise, we did size large, true to size.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Perfect.
You know what it is? I think it's because my boobs sit lower. That's maybe why it's... Because I've got
a good point,
natural boobs and they're quite heavy. So they sort of like, not exactly round, they're like heavier on the bottom than they are on the top.
Yeah, like a teardrop shape.
Yes, yeah, that's the word. So I feel like if I had like implants, I might be more like that. And then this might sit more.
Yeah. Well, we can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. So because they sit a bit lower, maybe that's why I've got a bit of extra. Because they're expecting it to sort of go like that.
Yeah.
I think I would train in it, but maybe just not in this colour, because I've got the flares. So I'd have to buy the rest of the outfit basically to make it work. Otherwise, because I can't really think of anything this would go with. Like it goes with this, but then what would I do with the bottoms? But if I was to get this in black, which I might do, I'm really tempted, I would probably train in it, because there's tops that I can wear, or like bras that I can wear, that I feel like the black would go over the top, and then because I feel like I hold a little bit of fat on my arms, sometimes I'm a little bit conscious of showing them in the gym, sometimes not, sometimes I don't really care, but for those days where I'm just feeling like I'm having a bad body image day, it might be nice to cover my arms and show like the top of my boobs, because I love my boobs. So it's a good mix.
Get them out. We'll move on to the flares. Whilst we're talking about like length and stuff, I will insert a clip. I'll like move the camera down so we can see them.
I mean, they're a little bit long on me, but I feel like maybe with chunky shoes, like with the boots I've got, not that anyone can see them, but they've got a really big sole. They're like, add an extra inch to my height.
Yeah.
Maybe that would work, because obviously I wouldn't want to wear shoes and then them be sort of up here showing my ankle.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Cowboy, as you were saying, you want to go with, yeah, exactly. So I think with shoes it might work, but at the moment it's kind of dragging on the floor, which might make them like a little bit annoying to wear indoors, because you end up with it like under your foot. I really like the colour, and it's not too stark. I think it's stark enough for it to be unusual, but not so stark that you're like, oh my god, what's she wearing? That's so weird.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the bum cheeks are different colours, but hopefully it just looks cool.
I honestly don't think it looks bad.
Okay.
Like at first when I saw the prints on the PDF, I think one of my first thoughts was, that's two different colour ass cheeks. But in this colour and the like smoke print, I think it's called, the grey one, I really don't think it looks.
I like unusual clothes. Like for normal clothes, one of my favourite places to shop is Urban Outfitters, and I feel like they do a lot of sort of like unusual stuff. And I've like, when I went travelling, I'd always try and buy an unusual piece of clothing, so I could come back and people would be like, oh my god, where's that from? You know, not specifically for that reason, but like just because I liked it, and I didn't want to buy stuff that was like average or boring, so that's kind of why I went with this. And I feel like it's unusual enough that people who don't know the brand will probably be like, oh, that's cool, like that's a cool kind of colourway and vibe. So I do actually really like it. I think with the waistband, same situation as the shorts and the leggings, like it does roll a bit, but it's not digging in, and true to size.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think the line is quite flattering on me. Like I prefer the flares with the line than I would without. I've got flares without the line, and I think it's, you know, there's nothing wrong with not having a line. It still looks nice, but I prefer the extra sort of like contouring that these give. It's like an extra feature which you maybe wouldn't find on other flares from other brands. Like I've got Buff Bunny flares, for example. I think they're called Foxy flares.
I've got those.
Yeah, I like them, and the fabric's more like thick and compressive. It compresses me on the waist. Yeah, I've actually got an XL in those, just for reference. They are more compressive.
Okay, so we're on to the final fit. Obviously we've done the long line bra again, XL. This colour is Glacial Lake this time, so it's more of a, so it's more muted than the purple, but both still colours if you're not a neutrals person. And then we've got the Aura 9-inch bikers.
So personally for me, like I sort of mentioned with the other shorts, I prefer showing my quads a little bit. So these are a little bit long on me. But I do think that girls of my size who are maybe like really conscious of like showing their cellulite, this would be perfect for them, because you get like a bit more coverage, but it's still a short. I just think on me it's not as flattering, and personally I wouldn't pick it up, just because I always tend to go for those shorter lengths. I like having a bit, like maybe that much more of my leg like on show. But that's not to say that they're like a bad product or anything. Still like comfortable waist, still like true to size, feeling like functional. I think you'd get less rolling as well with this length. I think because of my legs not being super shredded, maybe that is a reason that shorter shorts do roll, because I hold like a little bit of fat there. But with these, I don't think you'd really get that, because I feel like they kind of sit in a place where they wouldn't naturally roll. They sit in a place, for me at least, where there's not as much fat, so I feel like it would actually stay put better. Yeah. So for someone of my size who has a similar sort of tapering of the leg, these will stay put more, I think. And you could potentially even run in them, like if you weren't worried about the sweat. Yeah. I think these would stay in place a lot better for running than like the shorter shorts, which might sort of migrate a little bit. I'm mainly lifting, not running. Don't really have a need to wear longer shorts, because if a short just rolls, just roll it back.
Exactly.
Like, finish my set,
it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Sizing wise, obviously we did a size large, same as everything. I find it, I mean, I don't know if you found the same, so I won't put words in your mouth, but personally I find that with ALPHALETE's cut and sew products, you get way less inconsistencies compared to seamless. Like everything sort of, something might feel slightly different, but everything sort of fits the same. Whereas with Amplify, you can do a haul and like one colour you might need one size, another colour you might need another size. It's a lot more consistent, I think.
I would agree. I think all these pieces that I've tried on today, so the bra's obviously the same piece, the shorts are the same apart from the length, and in terms of like the leggings and flares, they're sitting the same on like the waist. It's all pretty much standard, I'd say. I haven't put something on and felt like, oh, this is a lot tighter or a lot looser. It's all felt like true to size, like consistent.
I just want to go over some like final thoughts on the Aura range. So the first thing that I want to ask you is fabric wise, because obviously this was actually quite, I mean it still is a pretty new range for ALPHALETE, and it's very different to seamless. It's actually very different to like Alpha Luxe and Surface as well. It's a lot more high comfort, very brushed. Obviously with you of having tried a lot of different brands, is there anything that you think it's similar to? Is it completely different? How do you feel about like the fabric?
Yeah, I'd say like the most similar fabric would maybe be a lazuli, the one that slipped down a lot on the waist.
Right, okay.
It was the Celeste range. It kind of had this brushed feel, and I'd say it's similar to maybe Lululemon Align.
Yeah.
And I guess timeless to an extent from Honor, but it doesn't, I guess timeless is a little bit more slick, at least what I've tried, but I think there've been some changes to timeless. So some people have said it's more slick, some people have said it's more brushed, but I'd say this is more brushed. I'm trying to also think if I can compare it to the Whitney Gymshark stuff. Because I had a bra from that, it was a large and I was literally like this, but it was the only thing I'd get hold of because everything sold out.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd say that was more brushed, so I'd say it's quite similar to that. In a way, I don't know what the fabric composition was exactly, but this feels quite brushed, so I guess you may have already mentioned this, it might show signs of wear quicker than other fabrics, but I think that is quite normal for this fabric. Like Lululemon Align, they do kind of like the fabric is just not looking smooth and soft anymore, it's kind of bumped up a bit.
It's got a little bit of texture to it. I would 100% agree, and like I said in my first Aura review, the reason why pilling on something like this, for example, doesn't bother me in the same way that pilling might on my Amplify is because obviously when Amplify first launched, it never used to pill. I mean, it wasn't pill proof, but it didn't pill like it does now. So that's what I compare it to. Whereas with this, when I first got them in, I was like, oh, this feels like Lululemon Align, and that's like £90 and that pills. So for this, I don't feel like it's a quality thing. I feel like it's, if you're gonna have a soft brushed fabric that feels like this, I don't think you can avoid it. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I really don't think it is avoidable.
No, I agree, and I think it's not a fabric you'd want to wear if you were doing something like, I don't know, hiking, and you were going to have to sit down on like a rough stone or something, or like a really rough bench somewhere. Like, say I was wearing the flares out and about to run errands or something, I'd be conscious of not sitting somewhere that's like really rough. I'd like try and, like, say if I was going for coffee, that wouldn't be a problem because I'd just be able to sit on like a normal chair. But I think the fabric would, I agree basically. I don't think you can avoid it, but maybe if you try and like not brush up against things that are gonna like really rough it, or like not sit on certain things, that might help like reduce it basically.
Second question was going to be, obviously ALPHALETE are basically known for Amplify. This is a slightly newer range. It's been in since the back end of last year, but it's slightly newer for ALPHALETE. Obviously you've tried Amplify. Not necessarily a question of which do you prefer, because for me I love both, but for different reasons. But what would you, is there a difference in like what you would use Amplify for compared to this? Anything that you prefer about this compared to Amplify, or anything that you prefer about Amplify compared to this? Basically.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I would say I prefer Amplify, just because I really like the bum scrunch.
Yeah, it's good.
And I mean, obviously I'm thinking about more like the OG fabric, or some of those thicker colours that we spoke about, like Galactic Ocean and Sapphire, for example, have held up really well for me. I find them more flattering, and I also find them a little bit more sweat-proof or sweat-wicking maybe.
More performance.
Yeah, I'd say so. I feel like I haven't really had issues with sweat, with Amplify. Like I go to the gym, I do, I'm not running around absolutely, doing a HIIT cardio or something like that. I'm doing lifting, and it doesn't seem to like show sweat. It seems to, if it gets a little bit sweaty, it kind of dries quite quickly. So I feel like comfortable with that in the gym. With this, I feel like it would like show sweat. So I don't know. But then on the other hand, I feel like bum scrunch leggings aren't like necessarily the item that you always want to wear to everything. Sometimes you don't want to walk around like and have your like everything up your crack. Like, I don't know,
up there.
Thinking if I was visiting like my boyfriend's grandma or something.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Maybe the flares,
Yeah.
for example, would look nice. I much prefer like how this waistband is not digging into me compared with Amplify. Like I said, I have to size up just based off the fact I don't like being squished, but then I get extra fabric in the legs, and that's particularly a problem with the leggings versus the shorts. So I prefer how I can stick true to size with these and not worry about being, squished biscuit tin. Yeah. Basically. But I think Amplify will always be my favourite out of like all the collections that I've seen from ALPHALETE.
I guess the final thing is, out of everything you've tried, anything you wouldn't personally spend money on, and you can be completely honest if there is anything, and anything that you would actually recommend picking up. Obviously the sale is going to start on the 24th, so anything that you would recommend from this range or anything that you would skip on?
So I'd skip on these just because I said for me personally I prefer having my quads out a little bit. I feel like it's more flattering. So that means I would get the shorter, the shorter version of these shorts, although I wouldn't get loads of pairs of them because I'd be conscious of maybe not getting enough use out of them, because if I'm worried about like sweat showing in the gym, just kind of, there's not much point having tons of them. With the bra, I would probably skip as well, partly because of the price. It's just not really giving me much support. I think it looks really pretty, but if we hadn't done this today, I wouldn't be picking it up because I'd be sat there thinking like, is it really going to be worth it for me? How much wear am I going to get out of it? Like I said, I can imagine myself wearing it at a resort, but I don't go to resorts like 7 times a year, twice a year or something, so it just wouldn't get enough use. And I was going to actually, sorry, slight tangent, say that there's probably like slight red marks and stuff.
Yeah, you have got a bit of a mark.
Yeah, where it's been digging in, because like my boobs are quite heavy and they sit lower like we were saying earlier, so it's kind of pulling it down onto my traps and like causing like a little bit of a mark. So I personally wouldn't want to wear this for hours and hours. And like I said, this band just isn't compressive enough. So it's really pretty and I really love the colours. But for me, I just wish it was like more functional. And in general, I wish that brands like ALPHALETE and Honor would make bras for bigger boobs that actually worked. Like 1, were pretty, and 2, actually worked, like actually were supportive to an extent, because sometimes I despair, like scrolling through all the options. I'm like, my go-to for high impact is a brand called Bravissimo, because I'm a 34 double G, which I don't think we mentioned, but it will be apparently in the description.
It will be.
So I'm kind of out of the size range for like Bow Avenue, definitely out for Victoria's Secret. So I go to like Bravissimo, and they do really good sports bras that literally hold me in, but they are kind of ugly. Yeah. So sometimes I'm caught between this of like, do I get a pretty bra that's not going to support me? Or do I wear something that is ugly but is really going to hold me in, and I know I'm not going to have any problems, my back's not going to be hurt, I'm not going to be getting lines or anything. So sometimes I think when you're this size, and I'm sure lots of girls will agree with me, you kind of have to make a choice, and you kind of have to be strategic, because when I'm planning my gym outfits, I have to think like, what am I doing? Am I doing a bit of cardio at the end? In which case I need to be wearing a high impact bra, which is a bit annoying because then you've got to match the bottoms, and sometimes it's like, I don't have that matching colour because Bravissimo is a totally different brand to all these sort of activewear brands that I'm buying from. Yeah. So it can be a bit of a ball ache. I know we've gone a bit off topic, but I feel like...
I love it, because I feel like it's really, really important. I mean, I don't know if ALPHALETE are going to watch this.
No.
Hopefully. I've always said the same thing, like even, I don't have huge boobs, but I noticed, obviously I went from having no boobs to having boobs. So excited because I was like, oh my god, like all the cute bras and stuff that I'm finally going to be able to wear. And then when I started bra shopping, I was like, it felt like after they went past a D cup, they added like this much thickness to the straps, this much more coverage to the cup, and I was like, hang on a minute. I don't need that, and I feel like I totally understand what you mean, obviously not personally, because I can do the more minimal bras having implants, but having to make that choice between something that is really, really, really pretty and cute and something supportive, and maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, ALPHALETE could be the brand that bridges that gap, because there is a huge gap. I notice it. Like, clients will ask me for recommendations on sports bras, and I mean, now
really
now I have a recommendation because Hannah's given me one, but I'm like, I actually don't know, or I'll recommend something and they'll be like, yeah, I've tried that. Doesn't work.
Yeah. And I was saying to Amy earlier that, you know, actually some, you know, statistics and research that's been done has shown that women with bigger boobs are being kept out of like doing certain activities like running, for example, or even some of the lower impact activities because they have bigger boobs, because there's nothing on the market to support them. So they're, you know, if they can't get the right bra to do like the activity that they want, that's going to put them off doing it at all.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, it's not exactly maybe a purposeful discrimination, but it's ended up as like there's a bit of a discrimination against women with bigger boobs in the sort of fitness industry because you're just not catered for, and then you kind of feel like this isn't the space for me, this isn't like working for me, I guess. So that can put people off, I think. But I really hope that there is a way forward here, because I think you definitely can make pretty bras that are also supportive. It's not rocket science, so I just feel like there is a way forward, and if ALPHALETE did it, they'd get so much support. Honestly, I would buy a lot. Do you know what I mean?
She'd buy all of them. She'd actually clear the whole of the UK stock, guys, so you'd make millions. You like the short shorts, leggings, or would you just go for the shorts instead? I know you mentioned earlier you'd probably do shorts. Yeah,
I mean, I like the leggings, to be fair. I could imagine like wearing them on walks.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of leggings, to be fair. I could also wear those. So I guess it depends. If I hadn't got so much stuff already, maybe I would want them more. Yeah. But just at the moment, I'm like, I've got lots of V-seam I could wear. You know, you don't need everything, guys, as we keep saying. Yeah. There is a, you know,
fine line. Yeah. I mean, I've showed Hannah underneath my bed. I mean, obviously it's different because it's what I do for work, but
yeah, of course.
It's ridiculous, awful, some may say.
I like the shrug. I want to buy that in different colours.
Okay, so the shrug is a top pick. The 5-inch shorts are a top pick. Flares.
I like them. Yeah, I hope when I put my boots on, they're not too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm tempted to get them in the purple colour. What is called Arctic Sky.
Yes.
Yeah, those would look good, I think.
Yeah, I think looking at them on you, I think with a shoe, I think you would be fine. But yeah, I think that's everything. So I'm gonna leave all of Hannah's statistics and everything in the description box below. If you guys have got any questions, leave them below. I will answer them. I mean, Hannah could jump in and answer them if she wants to go through the comments. And yeah, just thank you, Hannah, for doing this video, because the representation isn't always the best, and I do massively appreciate it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this is going to be helpful for people, because the Aura range in particular, I feel like even in like people sending me photos and stuff, I've only been getting pictures of people in this stuff that are like a much smaller size, like extra smalls and smalls, so hopefully this is going to be useful, because I do feel like Aura is next to Amplify, and like a good Amplify, not a bad one. Yeah. Next to a good batch of Amplify, this is definitely my second favourite range that ALPHALETE have done for like the gym wear side of things. So yeah, we're going to leave this video here. Hannah, have you got any final words to round it off?
I guess just on the representation point, I think it would be really great to see some more reputation, you know, for ALPHALETE, also other brands, not to just call them out by themselves. But yeah, it would, because I feel like when you can see a product on a body that's like yours, you're much more likely to buy it, because sometimes I look at the girls on the website, they've not got, you know, fat on their hips, they've not got like fat on their stomach, for example, and I'm looking at them like, how is that going to sit on me? Like, it might just look really weird. It kind of puts me off buying it. Whereas actually trying this stuff on now, I'm like, oh, it actually looks pretty good. Yeah. But I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't like come here today and done this with you. So I think just seeing like more representation in general, also with like skin tone and stuff, because, you know, like some of these colours that I look at and I think would really pop on someone with like a deeper skin tone. So in general, it would be great to see some more representation, especially for me personally, for my size, like that's what I would love to see.
That's really important. Beautifully said, beautifully spoken. I'm going to end this video here, so thanks for watching, and me and Hannah are going to go and get a coffee now, so goodbye.